Hi guys, Kundalini Awakening is not a spiritual awakening. A Kundalini Awakening is not the same as awakening our chakras. It is not the same as experiencing profound bliss. It's not the same as feeling there is no mind and that everything is divine. It is none of those things. A Kundalini awakening is a phenomena, right? It is something that happens when something that was latent inside of you is suddenly woken up. There is an explosion of extreme energy. So imagine that you're running on 3 amp. That 3 amp now is going to be 10,000 voltage. And it's something that can shock the system so much that you may come out of it or you may never come out of it. When you're going through a sudden, abrupt Kundalini awakening that you were unprepared for and you knew nothing about, this can really turn your world upside down. Depending where your Kundalini is, depending where the energy is, I cannot stress enough what it can do. If you're already on a path of embracing divinity, you're already on a spiritual path, you're already meditating and you've been spending years honoring this vehicle, honoring your body, so that we say that this is our house, this is the body that we're in which we can realize our true nature. When you've already been doing that and preparing your body, and you've got the most important thing, you've got a support network. Whether that's your family, friends, a guru, a teacher, a community. When you've got that support network in place, it will be easier. You will still go through everything and it'll still be a process that is yours and that you are going through. But having that support network will really assist you in this. On the other hand, if your Kundalini awakening has happened and you're just going about minding your own business and you experience the Kundalini awakening, it can come off a near-death experience, a trauma, things that happen in life, right? And it's something that's completely unbeknownst to you. It hits you and you don't know. Now, if you are somebody who is not on a spiritual path, is not actively seeking anything, is not conscious of this either, this might end up as a psychosis. You might be diagnosed with mental health issues because people won't understand, right? Whilst, yes, there is a lot of information out there, this information is also still limited to particular communities. It has not fed through, the system. So this is something that you would have to ride. The person who is experiencing this without any knowledge or anything, right? This is the person that we pray for and that they get through it, and they will. Eventually, you will get through it, because when you're able to surrender to this process, right? It's Shakti, it's the divine feminine going through you, going through your Ida, your Pingala, your Sushumna, all of your channels, all of your chakras, everything is vibrating. And anything that is dense, anything that is in the way gets out. Now, how we feel it when it's getting out depends on what that particular chakra is related to. So if your Kundalini is here and it's trying to pass through your heart, and if you've got issues, you've got emotions to do with that chakra, at that point, you will when you're going through a heart expansion, either you're going to be so lovey-dovey and full of love for everybody and think, wow, everything is love. You lose all your filters, right? At the same time, you will have these experiences connected to that particular chakra. You may even be re-traumatized. So imagine when you're in that really vulnerable state, right? To be in that vulnerable state, you can't afford a push and pull relationship with anyone, a romantic relationship, because that you are in the womb. You're in the womb of being recreated when you're going through Kundalini Awakening, because you've just tapped into the mother of all dimensions here, right? And when that happens, the way to go through this is with absolute surrender. But it depends on whether you're somebody who is already on the path, who is not on the path. Now, if you're somebody who is on the path and you're aware of this spirituality, right, then you know about surrender already. Then you're already aware, right? So it'll be about you not letting your mind come in the way. So if your body suddenly craves meat and you're vegetarian, don't stop yourself. Go for it and have it, because you're listening to your body's intelligence at that time. The biology of Kundalini is something that is very little known. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information on this, although there are people who are doing research on the biology of Kundalini. When your Kundalini is very, very active, it produces nitric oxide, for example. Now that's like, it really spaces you out. And when it gets higher and higher, it produces something called anandamide. Again, you're blissed out, you're spaced out. Now at every level of this process, you put together spiritual awakening, you put together everything else, awake, aware, presence, consciousness, poise, prayer. You put everything together and you really have a recipe for self-realization here. You will then be able to help yourself. So every time you reach a point and you think, oh wow, I've reached it now, because of your awareness, you won't stagnate at that point. And so when you're suddenly so clairvoyant and suddenly all this information is coming to you, suddenly there's this wisdom that's just there. And guess what? That wisdom was always there. Yeah? So when we read scriptures, we read sacred literature, we listen to each other about all of this, the irony is always that this wisdom is sitting right in us. And all that has to happen in order for us to access that is remove the ignorance. Just totally remove the ignorance. And how you remove the ignorance is you go step by step. You remove your emotions, you remove your pain body, you remove your reactions, you remove your attachment to I am the reaction, you remove the attachment to I am my karma or I am my conditioning, and gradually you grow into this expanded state. And together you are completely in this process. I can't even call it love. The closest it feels to it is pure love. It is such a high, pure love. But really, the kind of love that we experience as humans, you'd have to really experience love in a tragedy. It's sort of that kind of extreme painful love, but it is not a painful love. It's an untainted love completely. There is no attribute to that love. It's a pure love. It is there, and the good news is that it's available for everybody. Will everybody achieve it right now? No. We all get it in our own time. You know, maybe you've come into this life to experience it this time round, or maybe you'll come to another life, and if you believe that we're all multidimensional and you're living parallel lives at the same time, maybe you're already experiencing it in another life. But either way, if you're going through a Kundalini that you were not prepared for, what you need right now is not a guide, not someone to tell you what to do, but someone that you know is there to support your process. That is all you need right now, is someone to provide a safe space and support for you. And if you're in a place where you completely trust your process and you feel that you don't want any guidance, then I would highly recommend that you take this time, and if you can, surrender to this and go through the limbs. Become acutely aware, and when you're feeling scared to go deeper into it, yes, acknowledge that you're getting a bit scared, because we don't know. You know, when you're getting out of your body or you stare up the ceiling and you can see your body up there, it's pretty scary. It's pretty scary if you're somebody who's never had those experiences and you didn't even prepare yourself for this. And you sort of wake up, or suddenly you sleep and you see yourself sitting in somebody else's car, or you start to see other different dimensions and other beings sharing your same space. You're able to cross over and actually see. All right? So hang in there, stay wherever you are, because wherever you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be. And if you're somebody who's experiencing Kundalini syndrome, I'm there for you as well, right? Feel free to contact me. Feel free to drop me a line. Lots of love.